Okay, here we go. However, we can do a quick chazara together. We'll start from the Gemara, Amarava. We'll run down that Amud a little bit quicker. Really, because it's a nice hakdama to the next Gemara. We'll try to move a drop faster, but Clara, we got all the way to the bottom. Got all the way to the bottom. So let's go.
Well, from Shalzav or no?
Amarava, yeah, till the Tanya. And he needs to become shoes. Amarava, Kuzma says Rava. It is an exaggeration. What is the exaggeration? Now the Gemara explains. Kuzma means exaggeration. Hishku was a tamid v'kayshal zav. They gave the carbon tamid to drink from a golden cup. Amarava Kuzma. That is the exaggeration. Okay, so that's really going to be our sugya. It's dealing with exaggerations. So the first one we have is that it says they gave the carbon tamid to drink from a golden cup. That sounds bizarre. You can give an animal to drink from a golden cup. That, says the Gemara, is an exaggeration. Amar Ravami, says Ravami, Divra Torah Lashon Havai. The Torah speaks Lashon Havai. Havai is the same word as Guzma. It means exaggeration. Says Ravami, the Torah speaks by way of exaggeration. Divra Chachamim Lashon Havai. The Chachamim do. Divra Neviim Lashon Havai, and the Neviim speak Lashon Havai. Did I say that out of order? I did. One more time. Amar Ravami, Divra Torah Lashon Havai, Divra Neviim Lashon Havai, Divra Chacham Lashon Havai. Now the Gemara explains, what are these three things? Dibra Torah Lashon Havai, exaggerations, Zechsev, Arim Gedolais, large cities, Ubetsurais, and fortresses and towers, Bashamayim, to the heavens. End of pasuk. Bashamayim Zal Gedaydach, really, you think the tower, the city went all the way up to heaven? Ela Guzma, it's an exaggeration. Number one. Number two, Dibra Chachamim Lashon Havai. Where's that? Hadam Aran, that which we said what? Tapuach, the case of the tapuach. The Mishnah that said the tapuach was 300 kor big, that is an exaggeration, number one. Number two, Vihishku es hatamid b'koshal zav, and what we just said, that they gave the tamid to drink by a golden cup, that as well is an exaggeration. No. Welcome back. Mashiach's not here, so he only has such executive privileges. But either way, welcome. Chavtesim and Aleph. We're smack in the middle of the Gemara, and we're in the middle of discussing different exaggerations. So we're holding about 13 lines on the bottom. The first one on line is Nevi'im. Dibru Nevi'im Lashon Havai. The Nevi'im speak by way of exaggeration. And the reason we got into this was because, if you remember in the Mishnah, we said the tapuach was 300 kor big. Really? Was it 300 kor? It's an exaggeration. So we got involved in a whole sugya of exaggerations. Says the Gemara, the Nevi'im speak by way of exaggeration. The pasuk says, V'chol am haaretz, and all the people, mechalelin b'chalilim, they were playing flutes. Mechalelin b'chalilim, they were playing flutes. Vatibaka haaretz l'koilim. Pilot. Can you grab a pencil from behind you? Pilot? It's a pilot, no? Oh. You're not a pilot? Yeah, I'm saying what? You go.
That would be a pilot.
I would definitely not get in your plane. I mean, exactly. That's a different story.
Wouldn't either.
But
let's see it. We go take a
now we're talking.
Next year we're gonna go from
that's all there. Weiter. And the earth opened up to its voice. The pasuk seems to say "vatibaka," and it cracked. That the land cracked open from all the flutes. Says the Gemara, that's an exaggeration. Okay, period. So that's three cases. Turn of Yimiksu. Amar Rav Yanai bar Nachmani, new piece of Gemara. Amar Shmuel. B'shleisha mekamais, in three places.
It's the second time or something.
Yeah, we'll get there. B'shleisha mekamais, in three places. Dibru chachamim lashon havai. Said Rav Yanai bar Nachmani. No. What do you mean?
He's asking. Go ahead.
Why are we repeating it? Good. The Gemara is about to point that out. Very good. Says the Gemara, the Chachamim speak by Lashon Havai in three places. What are the three places? Ve'eluhein. Number one, Tapuach, or Mishnah. Number two, Gefen, which we'll see what that means today. And number three, Pareiches, we'll see what that means today also. So Rav Yanai bar Nachmani Amar Shmuel listed three things. Says the Gemara, what did he not list? He did not list the carbon tamid drinking from a golden cup. Le'afuke, this comes to exclude midirava. Rav Yani bar Nachmani Amar Shmuel argues on Rava. Rava said that what? When the Mishnah says the carbon tamid drank from a golden cup, it's an exaggeration. Says Rav Yani bar Nachmani Amar Shmuel, no, it's not an exaggeration. Titinan, as we learned in the Mishnah, Hishku as a tamid b'kaishal zav. The carbon tamid was given to drink from a golden cup. Vama Rava. And Rava said on that Mishnah, really? Golden cup? No, it wasn't really a golden cup. It's an exaggeration. Rav Yanai bar Nachmani teaches us, Kamash Malan honey, those three that Rav Yanai bar Nachmani listed, Tapuach, Gefen, and Paroiches, those were exaggerations. Honey, those three yes. Hasam, the other one, what's the other one? The carbon tamid drinking from a golden cup. Loi. That's not an exaggeration. So now the question is, really? They actually gave an animal to drink from a golden cup? Says the Gemara, yes. Why? Ein anios b'makom ashirus. There's no poverty in a place of opulence. What does that mean? That means the Beis Hamikdash was the ultimate place of ashirus, ultimate place of wealth. It's God's house, and in God's house, even the animals drink from golden cups. Yes.
Question. The Gaffin and Zahab, that whole thing, that
Get there in a minute.
I'm saying that has to be with the cup or no?
No. So good. Let's say it outside.
It's three categories.
Rav Yani, there's really. I'm not going to go back to the whole Gemara because I feel bad, but let's just go inside one detail. Rav Yani bar Nachmani said three cases are exaggerations: tapuach,
Right.
gefen, and pareches. Gefen and pareches, none of us know what that is. We're about to see that in one moment. If he lists that these three things are exaggerations, he does not list that the carbon tamid drinking from a golden cup is an exaggeration. Says the Gemara of Yani bar Nachmani Amar Shmuel argues with Rava. Rava held the animal was not given to drink from a golden cup. It's an exaggeration. Rav Yani bar Nachmani says no, he was given to drink from a golden cup. Really? That's ridiculous. No. Ein anios b'makom ashiros. Now, says the Gemara, tapuach. Let's go through three cases, right? Tapuach, gefen, and pareches. What are these three cases? Says the Gemara, 3 lines from the bottom. Number 1, tapuach. What's the case of tapuach? Hadamar. That's the Mishnah.
We know it's an exaggeration because
Very good, very good. Very nice. Diak, we shouldn't point to that diak. Very nice. Everyone heard his diak? Look back in the Mishnah, 2 lines to the bottom. The Mishnah says, Pamim shayolav kishalish. So you could say it just means approximately.
Well, you said it was very good.
Yeah, exactly. Why? What's the number 300? Very good. Says the Gemara, tapuach hadamar. Geffen. What is this case of geffen? Geffen, of course, we know is grapes, vines. Titania, we learned in a brayso, geffen zahav haisa. There were golden grapes, oimedes, literally standing. So there were golden grapes standing al pesach ha'hichal, on the entrance to the Eichel. So the entrance to the Eichel is the Beis Hamikdash. And the entrance to the Beis Hamikdash, there were golden grapes, umudla, and they were hanging down, umudla, and they were hanging down. There's probably a better word, but that's the word I'm going to use. They were hanging down, al gabe klunsais, on top of the pillars. So envision you have a door walking into a building. You have 2 pillars on the side. You have golden grapes along the top, and the golden grapes come down along the pillars. Sounds absolutely beautiful. Shtickle Hungarian. V'chol mi shemis nadiv, anyone that wanted to donate, right? You're feeling generous one day, you have a little extra cash, so you decide, you know what? I want to donate to the Beis Hamikdash. You know what you do?
Oh, yeah.
Allah, you bring up.
It's like
Oh,
Shulchar's place.
what do you say? Yeah, vada. That's the real deal. Allah, you bring up. What do you bring up? Oy gargir, either a cluster. Gargir is like, a single grape. Oy eshkol, or a cluster of grapes. Maybe you bring them, and you hang it on it. What does that mean? That means A guy feels, oh, I just made $1 million. I want to give back to Hashem Epistle. You know what? I want to give a nice donation. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give a golden grape. He goes and he buys a golden grape. He brings it to the Beis Hamikdash. He hangs it over the door. Absolutely beautiful. Amar Rebbe Lazar Brevi Tzadoik says, now, if we were to pause here, we would all think that that was the exaggeration, right? We said there's an exaggeration called geffen, called grapes. Then we go listing this whole story about golden grapes coming down the sides. So I would have thought that's the exaggeration, the golden grapes. No, it's not. Oh, very good. And he's not going to shears. So says the Gemara, let's keep on reading. Amar Rav Elazar Rav Sadik. Says Rav Elazar Rav Sadik. Maisa, there was a story. Maisa, Haya, there was a story. Vinimnu alav, and they appointed on it Shalish Meyois Kohanim, 300 Kohanim, Lefa Noisa, to clear off these golden grapes. Says the Mephirish, look at the top right corner, where it would be Taisvis. Look at the top right corner. It says Shalish Meyois Kohanim Lefa Noisa. Everyone sees it. Second line from the top. Second line from the top. Chavtasim Beis, says the Mephirish, Guzma. The fact that it says it took 300 Kayanim to clear it off, that's the exaggeration. Why? Why? Says the Mephirish, because let's say, what's exaggeration? Maybe it was so heavy, it was so many golden grapes that you need 300 Kayanim. Tishaber, it would break. And they wouldn't wait that long. Okay. I know we're all wondering, really? I don't know. That's the big deal, that the golden grapes would break? I don't know. It's a Beis Hamikdash. They'll figure out a way to hang them up. I don't know. But that was the exaggeration, was what? That it says it required 300 kayanim to clear off the golden grapes. Case number 3 is Pareiches, the Pareiches. What's the exaggeration about the Pareiches? Titanan, that we learned in a Mishnah, 4 lines on the top. Rashba Goimer says of Shimon Gamliel, Mishom Rabbi Shimon Hasagan, in the name of Rabbi Shimon Hasagan. Pareiches, the curtain going into the Beis Hamikdash, or into exactly where this Pareiches was. Let's leave that right now. But the Pareiches, Aveha, its thickness was tefach. It's pretty thick. Tefach is about 8 inches. So the thickness of the curtain was 8 inches, let's call it. Al shivin ushtayim nimin, 72 threads. Ne'eregis, it was woven. Now, what does that mean? That means if you look at your tzitzis, if you ever noticed, perfect example, it's string. Each one of your strings of tzitzis is not one string. Each one is comprised of many strings, as you can see here so perfectly. See the string? Each one is really, 6 strings. This was 72 strings all woven into one string. It's a pretty thick string. Keep on going. Va'al kol nima v'nima, and each and every strand was esrim va'arba'a chutim, 24 strings. So those who know math could figure out that if it was 24 by 72, how thick was the strings? Yeah, that's what I would say. We don't have our accountant here tonight. He's out sick, so we'll have to leave it at thick. The Mashkiach doubles as an accountant. He's very into counting. He likes to
he likes numbers.
Likes to keep things going.
Yeah.
Arka, we're not done yet. The length of this curtain was 40 amis. V'rachva, and the width was esr mama, was 20 amis. So we have a curtain, which is, we're going to call it, let's use feet, 30 feet wide by 60 feet tall. That's up.
The width, right?
Pretty, rachva is the width, arka is the length. Pretty massive curtain, very, very thick. Now, the next 3 words, it's a shtickle shaila, how to read it. So we're going to read it. You all have a little aleph in your Gemara for the Bach.
Yeah.
So we're going to read it with the Bach. Umishmainim ushtayim, and 82 ribuy na'arois nasis. So it's a little bit hard to know exactly what it means. Either it means 82,000 young lads it took to create this pareches. That's I guess that we'll just do that. It's the simple way of learning. Others learn, if you look, there's another letter somewhere over here that says its weight was 82,000 talents of gold. Okay, it was a massive curtain. Okay, let's leave it at that. So what's the exaggeration? We didn't get there yet. Ushtayim Aisin, they meet two of these curtains. Ubachol Shana Vishana, and each and every year, Chol Shana Vishana, Ushalish Meois Kayhanim, it took 300 Kayhanim, Matbilin Oisai, to dip this curtain in the mikvah. Why are they dipping the curtain in the mikvah, being toivelit? Because it became tamei. So they're changing the curtain and they dipped it in. So that last detail is the exaggeration. It took 300 kohanim. I mean, this actually is something I don't really understand why that's an exaggeration. It's pretty massive. We're talking about a curtain that's
if it's as big as they're saying it is.
Yeah, and it's going to water.
Where's that mikvah?
Yeah, where's that mikvah? That's other kasha. Where in the world's that mikvah? So I was thinking, how
82,000 is the one that you can exaggerate.
82,000 also. You know they when they roll out the tarp over the infield at the baseball game. How many people are there? That's 30 people, and that's just rolling it out. They're not carrying it. Here they have to carry this thing, get it into the water, and someone get it out. It gets very heavy when it's in the water.
And it sounds like it's really thick enough.
And it's very, very thick.
Yeah, so I've never seen by a football game when they do the flag covering the whole field.
Really?
Yes. They have like every single spot like this next to each other.
Really? I've never seen that. Yeah, so good. These are all my kashas. I don't have an answer, but that's what the Mefarshim say, that the 300 people, that was exaggeration. If you notice, there's a 300, 300, 300. It's always the number 300. Why 300? I don't know. But anyways, that is the fascinating Gemara of all the different exaggerations. Just because we're probably going to be off tomorrow night, because I don't know if I'm going to make it back from Lakewood, and we're off Wednesday night, I want to go drive weiter. Elam has a little more energy to go drive weiter. Wednesday night we're off, Stam, and tomorrow night I have a selling in Lakewood from 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock. I'm going to try to leave early, but I think the end is when Dr. Mandelbaum is speaking, and he's the king. He's the king. So, anyone ever seen Dr. Mandelbaum? Man is, yeah, man's a massive therapist with massive pace and massive beard. He went to Harvard and Yale, but he's like, I don't know, Brooklyn, I don't know. He's this like really yeshivish, super genius, went to all these crazy schools, and he's the biggest therapist out there. What?
Redhead by chance?
Yeah, Fata.
I think she's in school with Amanda.
Yeah, it could be related. Hechelu, here we go. One more shtickle gemara. Let's go. We have 5 more minutes.
That'll be a relation now.
Hechelu malin begezirin. So the Mishnah said they raised up the gezirin. What were the gezirin? The gezirin were the logs, the wood. Lesader esa maracha, to arrange the maracha, the pyre, Pyre. And the Mishnah taught us what type of wood do they use. The Mishnah said all wood was allowed to be used, except for zayis and gefen. Says the Gemara, honey, my time, these. Why not? Why do they not use zayis wood? Why do they not use gefen wood? Says the Gemara, machlekes. Rav Papa Amar, you know why? Mishum dikatri. These two types of wood has knots in it. You know, everyone knows what a knot in the wood is? All our outdoorsmen over here. You know what the knot is? What? The pilot got it? Should I tell you?
Outdoors.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
You built the tents. You built the fires. The knots are these things. These things are the knots.
We discussed glamping, right? Yeah.
Yeah, about that. The circles in the wood. Yeah. Who cares about the circles in the wood? Who cares? Shkoyach that they have katri, they have knots. So as we're going to see, the knots create excessive smoke. So now you know, if you're ever stranded and need to make that smoke fire, look for the knotty wood. Okay, good. Has knots. Ravacha bar Yaakov Amar, you know why you can't use these type of woods? Yeah, you guys are such outdoors, man. Maybe we should have the next CM. We should go. Yeah.
I know what we should do. We should have your chef guy make us something.
Yeah. I'm a rabbi.
Ravacha bar Yaakov Amar, Mishum Yishuv De'eretz Yisrael. That if you cut down all the Zayis trees, you cut down all the Geffen trees, why are you cutting them down? For the Mizbeach. You know what's going to happen? No one's going to want to live in Eretz Yisrael because you're missing all these good trees. Period. So two shitais, very important. This Gemara gets a little difficult. The first part is not so hard. Two shitais, why you don't use zayis wood or geffen wood. What are the two shitas? Either it has knots, or it's a type of wood that if you cut it down, no one's going to want to live in Eretz Yisrael. Meisvei, ask the Gemara. We're actually just going to start because this is a long kasha, lengthy brisa. We're just going to start. Alaitzim asher alaish. Says the pasuk. This is discussing the creation of the fire shalim mizbeach. It says that they would put all the fats, the limbs, etc., on the wood. Alaitzim asher al haish. That is on the fire. Says the Gemara. That's a funny term, right? You put it on the wood that's on the fire. Either say put it on the wood that is on fire, or put it on the fiery wood. What does it mean? You put it on the wood that is on the fire. Says the Gemara, you know what it means? Eitzim, wood, hanituchim, that when it burns up, lihiyois ish, it turns into fire. Now, what does it mean that when it burns up, it turns into fire? What it means is it turns into coals. That's what it means. Wood, when it burns up, turns into coals. So says the Braisa, the wood turns into a coal when it burns up. Umay nihu, and what is this type of wood that when you burn it, it turns into coals? Dukrei shvud, these are smooth spits or smooth piece of wood. Deloy katri, that don't have knots. Va'azli mikdar mitaychai. And the knots go inside of it. Now, what that line means, that's a funny line. It doesn't have knots, and the knots go inside it. We'll see what that means. Let's just finish two lines of the Braisa. Says the Braisa, this should hopefully sound familiar, and if it doesn't, you have to do a chazar in the Mishnah. Said the Braisa, and is all wood kosher for the maracha? Hein, yes. Kol ha'etzim ksherim chutz min zayis v'gefen. Aval, however, this is mamish carbon copy from our Mishnah. Be'elu, with these, how you regilim, they were accustomed. B'marbiyos, with twigs, shel te'ena, of the fig tree, v'shel egois, and the sycamore, v'shel eitz, shemen, and of eight shemen. Rabbi Eliezer, Moisif, af. Rabbi Eliezer adds on, you know what they would use? Af shel mayish wood, shel alon, and alon wood, shel dekel, shel charov, v'shel shikma, period. That's the end of the brisa. What is the kasha from this brisa? We don't know yet. We'll stop here at the end of the brisa. It's a long brisa. It's a hard reading brisa, so let's stop here. Let's get the reading straight. We'll pick up from, on Thursday, actually, we're going to pick up from Bishlama by Thursday, and then we're going to finish the parak Thursday night. By Thursday night, Chiyuvi, everyone has to chazer from the beginning of this parak till Bishlama at least 2 times. Really 3, but at least 2. At least 3. Yeah, Thursday night we're going to finish with